The OnePlus 8 was not received that well initially, not because it wasn't a good phone, but because it was still comparatively expensive to the 8 Pro, while cutting down a lot on features. The OnePlus 9 comes in at that same price point, so is it the same story all over, or did they manage to learn from their mistakes? Let's find out. I have to preface this by saying that I won't go as deep into software and performance, because this phone is just so similar to its Pro brother. So if you want to know more, also make sure to watch my 9 Pro review. Speaking of similarities, the design of the 9 is very similar to the 9 Pro as well. It has the same big camera element in the top left that I still think looks a bit uninspired compared to the center placement they used to have. But man, am I a fan of this color. The matte light blue glass is both vibrant and professional, while feeling soft to the touch and not attracting any fingerprints. Why isn't this color available on the Pro? What might deter from the premium feel a bit is the plastic frame, but I honestly think it's not that big of a deal. To me it looks exactly the same as on the Nord series of phones, and I already said back then that it feels fine. That said, I wish that it was matte like the rest of the phone. It does help to make it way lighter than the Pro though. What the 9 retains from the Pro are the stereo speakers, the alert slider, and the great feeling vibration motor. Unfortunately, the IP68 certification is still missing. Let's address the elephant in the room first. The screen is flat. That means no fear of accidental touches or a higher risk of breaking. I think this is the right move for the regular version. The 1080p AMOLED panel is a good screen, but compared to the Pro it's a considerable downgrade in terms of color accuracy and viewing angles. It has a slight pinkish tint that gets even more noticeable off-axis. That said, without the side-by-side comparison you probably won't notice. The display is of course 120Hz as well, but without the fancy variable refresh rate tech of the Pro. But I actually found the locked 120Hz to feel a bit smoother than on the Pro. We can make this quick, I think. Same hardware plus same software equals same performance. The Snapdragon 888 keeps the phone running super fast, just like the 9 Pro. There really isn't any noticeable difference here. That also goes for the flawlessly fast fingerprint sensor. 5G support is here, but I have to complain about the lack of an eSIM again, so OnePlus hopefully fixes that at some point. I still really like Oxygen OS, and I hope they don't screw it up with Android 12, which doesn't seem that unlikely given from what's circulating online. If they do turn it into ColorOS 2.0, that would be a huge shame and cannibalize their main selling point for me. If you want to know how to get this home screen set up on your own phone, by the way, there's a tutorial in the cards. The camera was the main difference last year, but this year that's fortunately not the case. While the 48MP main sensor is a generation older than on the Pro, it should still be better than the ultra-wide, and that sensor is already so good that it's basically indistinguishable to the 9 Pro's main sensor. That means that the pictures look exactly the same as on the Pro, maybe a bit warmer here and there, but you would be hard-pressed to notice any difference, even side by side. And that's a good thing. It means that you get great dynamic range and very natural but pleasant colors. The pictures are also very sharp, overall basically the same experience as on the Pro. I say basically because the night mode is less capable on the main sensor, and only that one for some reason. Detail and color reproduction are definitely worse than on the Pro. This is probably because the main sensor lacks OIS. It makes sense that that would be more noticeable in darker scenes. But for some reason this doesn't apply to the 50MP wide angle that's exactly the same as in the Pro, and also doesn't have OIS. Those pictures look identical even at night. To me this seems like a bit of an anomaly because it means that shots in darker environments actually look better on the ultra-wide than on the main camera. In daylight both are equally good though, just like on the Pro, which makes this the best ultra-wide camera you can get. There's no optical zoom, but that wasn't that great on the Pro anyway. The selfie camera is still pretty bad comparatively, while the video recording capabilities are really good. It's just a bit sad that they artificially removed the 4K 120fps option. Overall, this is just as much a high-end camera as on the Pro, which is amazing to see and a considerable upgrade from the 8. I just hope they can improve the slightly worse night mode on the main camera with a software update maybe, because it just doesn't make sense that it's better on the ultra-wide. Battery life is actually better on the regular 9 than on the Pro, but honestly that's more of a weakness of that phone than a strength of this one. 5+ hours of screen on time should get you through any day, most of the time with some room to spare. Nothing groundbreaking, but about what you would expect from a OnePlus phone. That said, excessive camera usage might still be able to get ya. Charging is just as fast as on the Pro with 65 watts, and the battery is the same size, so it also charges in about half an hour. Still really convenient when you're in a hurry and can get like 50% back in the time it takes to shower. And, drumroll please, there's even 15-watt wireless charging, at least on the international version. It's not the 50 watts of the Pro, but since that only works with the proprietary charger, this is just as good in my eyes. So, did OnePlus manage to fix the mistake they made with the pricing of the OnePlus 8? I think the answer is yes. While the OnePlus 9 is still available at the same price, it's also much less cut down. This year, I think it's sad that it gets overshadowed by the 9 Pro. The performance and the camera are basically just as good, and you even get better battery life and wireless charging. The only real difference is the higher resolution screen, that's also curved though, and the night mode. And I think for those small differences, the 200 euros you save are quite a good deal. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press, and don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.